Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by today. Now, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you guys are joining us again, thanks for coming back. I'd really appreciate it if you guys can hit that like button. It really helps me out here. So today we're actually going to dive deep into the Orlando real estate market, more specifically into the 4-county area of Seminole, Lake, Osceola, and Orange County. We're going to dive into topics of trends that we've seen in the past few years, and more importantly, the one question that most people are asking is, when are these prices going to go down? If you've been following prices, home prices in the area for the past few years, it's no surprise to anyone that things have gone up exponentially. Really, since COVID, home prices have exploded double digits every single year. Now, it's not just Orlando, it is nationwide, but we are going to be focusing into the Central Florida area today. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, when are these prices going to go down? Are we in a bubble? And if so, when is the bubble going to burst? Or is this just the new normal in real estate? In this video, we're going to explore these questions that are driving the real estate market here in Central Florida, and what indicators we might be seeing that are going to help us predict the future, in a sense, and interpret the market so that you can make a better decision for yourself. Now, stay with us as we delve into these topics, and maybe, just maybe, we can provide some insights into the future of the Orlando real estate market. So first, we're going to visit key trends that have happened in recent years for the Orlando real estate market, specifically since COVID, since 2019, when we were starting to see the market falter a little bit and really prices were starting to come down until COVID hit. So when we dive into the numbers, we see some interesting trends that have really defined the Orlando real estate market in the recent years. So first and foremost, historical home prices. From 2019 to 2022, the median home price in Orlando increased by over 62%, going from about $222,000 to a peak of $360,000. Now, the tide does seem to be turning a bit, with prices coming down about 8.3% to $333,000 as of July 2023. So inventory levels have also seen quite a roller coaster. In January 2019, they were sitting at 5 months of inventory, a pretty balanced market. A balanced market is said to be about 6 months of inventory, and inventory at those times was rising. So in January of 2019, right before COVID hit, we saw 5 months worth of inventory in the real estate market, which coincided with prices that were starting to drop, and interest rates were also starting to rise at that point. It went from 5 months to a low of 1 month, and that low was held for 4 months, an 80% decrease. Now in 2023, we have seen a bounce back up to about 3 months worth of inventory. So we're expecting the market to stabilize here at this point, especially with the interest rates at the levels that they are. Now, that being said, the interest rates, when we first look at these metrics in January 2019, they were hovering around 4.45%. They dipped to a low of 2.65%. Historically, I've never seen interest rates, mortgage rates this low since they started keeping records. That was in 2021. It was making borrowing cheaper and driving up demand for these houses, which coincided with the rapid increase in prices. However, since they have risen, peaking at about 7.08% in 2022, and they've been kind of hovering between 5.5% to 7% since then. They're currently at 6.78% as of June 2023. Now, in April of 2022 was a record as far as sales volume is concerned. There were 7,200 homes that were sold that month, a 92% increase from 2019. Now, just like home prices, we've seen this number come down, and the sales volume for this last month of June was down to 3,769. So marking a large slowdown in the market. It has a lot to do with the amount of inventory that we have, but interest rates have also put a damper on whether or not people can buy and really reduce the buyer pool. Now we can look at average days on market. In 2022, properties were flying off the market. Homes were being sold at an average of 23 days, a significant decrease from 65 days in 2019. Now homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, but still way below the 65 days. As of June 2023, homes take about 40 days to sell. But again, another key metric that we're seeing that may be pointing to some cracks in the system. Now, new housing start, a key indicator here of the health of a market, was at 1.2 million housing starts in January of 2019. Again, indicating that the market was slowing down a bit. Then when we got to the peak of the market around April of 2022, we saw new housing starts at 1.8 million. That's a solid increase of about 46%. Now, if we look at this year in June, it has come back down, but there's still good activity. It's at 1.4% now, and it's about a 20% decrease from the peak. So again, this could signify some cracks in the market and could be telling of things to come. So as you can see, the Orlando real estate market is really influenced by a variety of factors. And it's a complex relationship that these factors have, but analyzing it is my job. And in the next section, we're gonna delve into whether these key indicators point towards a potential downturn or not. So first, let's look at the relationship between the interest rates, because in my opinion, the interest rate is really going to be one of the key indicating factors of whether there is going to be a downturn in the future. So when interest rates were at their absolute highest, it really put a strain on the market. And the median sales price went up to $360,000 in June of 2022. From June 2022 to February of 2023, it came down 11% to $322,000. And this is because that's when the interest rates really started going crazy. They peaked in November and October of 2022, and that caused the market to really come to a halt. So that's why you see that 11% drop. Now, since then, the market has come up because interest rates have been varying, and they've been going up and down, but consistently, as the interest rates keep rising, the home prices keep going down. They peaked again in May of this year, where they were back up to about $350,000, but have since come back down to about $330,000 for the month of June. So another key indicating factor that there might be a downturn coming is putting even more pressure on the market, and that is the homeowners insurance issue that we're having here in Florida. So homeowners insurance, generally not much of an issue to get on a home, as long as the home was in good condition, the 4-point comes in well. But in recent years, with all the storms that have been coming and all of the predatory roofing companies that have gone through neighborhoods and have tempted people to change their roofs maybe when they didn't really need to, or when the insurance company wasn't at fault, this has put a strain on the insurance market, and these insurance providers have pulled out of Florida at record rates. We've lost about 15 providers in total, which then puts a damper on the insurance market because there's not that much competition, and providers that are left can charge higher and higher premiums to mitigate the risk. So that's what's been happening in recent years. Providers have been pulling out, and rates have increased over 40% in the past 3 years alone. So as these rates increase, and as it becomes harder and harder for people to get homeowners insurance when they buy a property, this has put a strain on the real estate market here in the Orlando area. Now, it hasn't put enough of a strain to really see anything happen directly just from that yet. But if we keep losing providers and insurance premiums keep going up, it might be a very different story. There's a silver lining when it comes to this insurance issue. There's been several announcements recently that have really bolstered the insurance market and created some optimism. So several new insurance providers have pledged that they will be entering the Florida real estate market, since there is a little bit stricter guidelines and higher premiums. For them, the risk is now manageable, and they're going to be entering the insurance market. State Farm, one of the state's biggest insurers, have pledged that they will not be leaving the market. They're going to maintain a substantial presence, and the insurers that are left have pledged that they are willing to take on some of the citizens policies that they've written over the past few years, putting a little bit of relief on state subsidized insurance provider Citizens United. So another key indicator in that there may be a potential downturn coming is a reduction of the amount of investors that are buying properties in Central Florida. As interest rates go up again, all having to do with these interest rates. As interest rates go up, it really cuts into the cash flow potential of some of these properties, especially commercial properties, multifamily properties that were experiencing a boom in themselves, but have now since had a reduction in cap rates because of the fact that the interest rates are up. So this might bleed into the residential market as well, because not as many investors are willing to go into the residential market instead of the multifamily market, because again, these interest rates are affecting their cash flow potential and their ROIs. Looking at all these indicators and really diving into all the numbers, in my opinion, we are headed for a little bit of a downturn in the Florida real estate market. I think we're going to be experiencing a few months to years of stabilization, especially if the interest rates remain where they are, which I think they're going to, until the government really takes control of inflation and brings it back down to where they want it, which is at 2%. I think they're going to keep raising the rates, or at least keeping them where they are for now. And this in turn is going to keep the mortgage rates kind of fluctuating between 6 to 8%, and it's really going to stabilize the market. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not good when a market is as red hot as it was during the COVID years, because it really puts a strain on the health of the real estate market. Is always going to come into question when prices keep going up double-digit gains year after year. It's just not a sustainable model. So because of this, I'm actually welcoming this stabilization of the market that I think is about to happen. I think that we'll see prices seasonally adjusted. During the summer and spring months, they might go up a bit. During the winter months, they might go down a bit. But for the most part, I think that we're going to be seeing certain years that are going to be slight increases and certain years that are going to be maybe a small downturn, until we really know what the interest rate market is going to do. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell once again. And if you did enjoy this video, stick around for some more videos that have to do with Orlando and Central Florida real estate. Thanks for stopping by.